Well, welcome back to Ruapuna, Mike Pero Motorsport Park here. And we're getting set for the New Zealand Grand Prix title in the Pro Twins. It's going to be a 12-lap of this race, 11 riders. Carl Hooper from Taupua, SJ Cavell from Napier, Jared Horn from Whangamata, Alex Butson from Auckland, leading 4 riders in this race alongside Vaughan Main of Auckland as well. So the warm-up lap is underway. And just to remind you, we're still awaiting the outcome or the decision of the Superbikes race for the New Zealand Grand Prix as to how that is going to shake down with 2 red flags and whether points will be awarded, whether a champion will be declared. We're still waiting official information from the stewards. And once we get that information, we will be certainly broadcasting it to you. In the meantime, the program continues. This is the second of 7 on the calendar or the schedule for this afternoon. Brad Ritchie back with me, and these bikes, these Pro Twins, twin cylinder, 4-stroke, up to 600 cc's.
Yep, so these are all the twin-cylinder 650cc machines. There is 3 manufacturers available. Yamaha do an MT-07, but none of them are entered. And Kawasaki also do a 650 twin as well. But everyone racing here is all on the Suzukis this weekend, so it makes it nice and easy. There's no one got an advantage. Everyone's on cylinder machinery. But the one thing to keep an eye on, especially in this 12-lap race here, is these guys have to use the same set of tyres for qualifying and all 3 races in the weekend. So in this hot Garden City sun, 12-lap around here, this is going to certainly be a factor, I think, Glenn.
Yeah, indeed, and whether the riders might have been conserving or, strategizing a little bit in the first 2 races of the weekend, we're about to find out. But Carl Hooper comes into this with 2 wins out of 2 so far, Cavell with 2 seconds, and Jared Horn with 2 thirds. So similar results all the way down through the field of these 11 riders through the first 2 races.
And Glenn, just to come in there, you're spot on the mark. Because that's exactly what Carl Hooper said in his post-race interview before, that he was watching out for the tyres because he knew he had the extra race to do.
Yes.
So it's part of their strategy for the entire weekend. It's not a matter about winning the first race by a comfortable margin. It's about conserving your tyres enough to go all the way through to this one.
Well, let's identify these riders. SJ Cavell, who's just coming into the #1 position. He's on 41 there. He's got the yellow and the blue wheels. Hooper's in 28. In 74, Jared Horn. And number 49 on the front row was Vaughan Main. Those are the top 4 riders. We're all set for the Pro Twins New Zealand Grand Prix title race. A 12-lapper here at Ruapuna, and we're underway. And it's Hooper who's made a great start. But on the outside, Main goes really well as well. And there's 5 riders abreast across the track. A great start is at the first corner. And it's going to be really interesting to see who gets the lead. And it's going to be Cavell.
Yeah, look at that. It's all on here. There's a big groove. I think it might be the 28. I think Carl Hooper might have just snuck up around the outside there. So SJ Cavell there, he is the man I can see in about 3rd place at the moment. So a good start from our big contenders, Jared Horn. He's got himself in the mix as well. That's him in 2nd place. We've got a good start from the number 18 of Alex Butson. There's plenty of contenders here that can win this Grand Prix title. We've got plenty of experience out there. But at the moment, the man who's won 2 from 2 so far, Carl Hooper, will lead them through the Fulton Hogan section of this circuit. Good stuff from Jared Horn. His first trip to Ruapuna, and already 2 visits to the podium and running a good 2nd here at the moment.
Well, indeed. And Hooper, of course, if we think back to that first race today, who gave up a lot of space and time, didn't he, to Cavell, but he just slowly ate into the lead over a number of laps and then got him a lap and a half from the end of the race.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. He's really a young man on the rise in New Zealand road racing. He's done a fantastic job so far this weekend on the borrowed bike. It's not even his bike, so a big shout out to the KIP Racing, Benno Rosendale. That's the bike that won the National Championship a couple of years ago and also was a top 3 machine last year. And this young man just hops on it and goes back-to-back wins so far and leads the New Zealand Grand Prix at the moment. We've got Jared Horn trying to get himself up in the mix as well. Interesting stuff. SJ Cavell hasn't lost touch with that lead 3 as well. This one's all on here as they go around. This is a 12-lap race, and it'll be interesting to see who's got some tyres left, who's got the stamina to carry on 12 laps of the New Zealand Pro Twins Grand Prix. All coming alive here is Carl Hooper, Jared Horn, SJ Cavell. That's your top 3. Vaughan Main is the man now up into 4th place ahead of Alex Butson, Nick Southerwood, Chris Burt, and then they go back to Angus Boyd. That's your top 8 as you can see them on the screen. But this one here, look at this one from Jared Horn. He's piling on a bit of pressure. So Carl Hooper, he hasn't had it all his own way so far. This one's going to be all on here, and we've still got 11 laps to go.
Yeah, what's apparent as well, Brad, is these three have really broken away from the field after just one lap. These are the top three riders in this class over the weekend so far, and I bet you Cavell in third place at the moment, just behind Hooper, has got some things to say as well. He's going to be a threat in this race big time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He's quite an experienced Pro Twins campaign. He's been on these bikes for a number of years now, and really, really starting to come on song. A very talented rider, a former stock car man, and Motorcycling New Zealand board member as well, so great to have him out there. Top three racing as well, and his major mechanic, Dan Nicholson, Highway Tyres. Big shout out to Dan. I spoke to Dan, he's got the tyre changing machine in the pits this national, so there we go, SJ up the inside, and what a move. He's got that job done, a classical move into the Southern Salvage S's, and just takes the line away, puts the brakes on and gets it stopped in time. SJ Cavell, the man on the move, he's now up into second place, but meanwhile, while he was dicing there, Carl Hooper's snuck up a little bit of a gap there.
Indeed he has. So coming towards the end of the second of 12 laps here in the Pro Twins New Zealand Grand Prix title for 2021. These three well clear, and in fact that move into second has really given Hooper the chance to move clear, but Cavell is hunting him down, but Hooper's got a good lead after 2 laps.
Yeah, this is good. He's got a 1.2 second advantage. He was the fastest man on track by over a second that time around, so he's fine. Carl Hooper, the man on fire at the moment. SJ Cavell now in second place. Let's see what that 1.2 seconds turns into. It's still a massive 10 laps to go, so anyone's at the moment for the New Zealand Grand Prix title. Jared Horn, he had the great start, but now he's managed to relinquish that second place. He's in third, but still keep in touch. They've got a massive gap back to fourth place. Alex Butson and Vaughan Main there. So that's your update with your top 5 and this all-important New Zealand Grand Prix. The championship points up for grabs in our third and final race of the weekend for these guys.
Yeah, Butson and Main, there's a 0.4 of a second gap between 4th and 5th at the moment, so those two having a duel for that position as well, but it's these three who are well clear at the moment, and they've spread out a little bit as they come around through that Christchurch Casino corner, which that corner caused all the problems for the second red flag. Still no update, by the way, folks, in the New Zealand Superbike Championship race, which had to be ended because of 2 red flags. Again, when that decision comes through from the stewards, we'll bring that to you as soon as possible. But this is the Pro Twins race, and it's still Carl Hooper, the man from Taupo, who is leading. And he's led right from the start, and he's been in sensational form, and he speaks very well too, doesn't he? He speaks very well for a young man. I was very impressed with Neil's interview with him after his race win in the second race earlier today. Very humble, and still realised well and truly that there was a job to do. That's 3 laps out of 12 now, and it's still Hooper by a similar margin of just over a second ahead of Cavell, who's second.
Yeah, so SJ took 2 tenths out of him that time around, so keep an eye on that one. It's down to just on a second now, so 2 tenths quicker on that lap around. SJ Cavell just logged his fastest lap of the race, as did Jared Horn, so SJ puts the hammer down, and Jared's coming with him, so don't worry about this one, folks. This one's going to come down to the wire. Still got a massive 9 laps to go, and you definitely can't pick the winner at this stage here. SJ Cavell's really coming on strong at the business end of the weekend. We've got 4th and 5th. That's a great little tussle there. Alex Butson and Vaughan Main on the 2 white-coloured machines. They're going into the Euromark left-hander at the moment. There's no quarter given there. These guys are really, really sending it. And we've got the business end of this weekend. We've had 1 race yesterday, 1 race this morning, and this is the 3rd and final race. And all importantly, the New Zealand Grand Prix title up for grabs. This is going to be brilliant stuff. We've still got 8.5 odd laps to go. It's Carl Hooper leading SJ Cavell and Jared Horn, but the battle for 4th and 5th is raging on through the infield at the moment.
Yeah, Butson just ahead here of Vaughan Main. Not much between them. They're 2 Aucklanders, and it'll be interesting to see when Main decides to have a crack here. Brad, at some point he'll want to have a little dig, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's going to get better and better as the weekend goes on. He's an experienced campaigner, and yeah, really nice guy. One of the nice guys in the pits. He won't want to stay there in 5th place as he looks up the Aon dip, and not quite going to be close enough there, but definitely looking very racy at the moment. So that's the battle at the moment. Toing and froing at the moment. 4th and 5th coming alive as the battle for the podium is definitely squeezed up at the front there.
Yeah, and it's still Hooper as they go through 4 laps, who's ahead of Cavell, and Jared Horn on his lonesome there in the 3rd place at the moment. Those two are pretty much the length of the main straight in front of Butson and Main, who've crossed in 4th and 5th right now. That lead at the moment is just under 0.6 of 1 second that Hooper has, and then it's a further 1.8 seconds back to Horn in the 3rd place.
Yeah, so SJ was quicker again that time by about 0.4 of a second, so continues to eat into that lead, and this is where it's all on. Can Carl Hooper withstand the pressure? Because SJ Cavell on the Purely Oils Eastfield Engineering Highway Tyres machine, he's coming and he's on the charge. It's 8 laps to go in this one here. We've got Carl Hooper and SJ Cavell, a great battle for 1st and 2nd. We've got 3rd place with Jared Horn, and then go back to Alex Butson, still holding on to 4th place ahead of Vaughan Main. So this one here, these guys have had good battles all weekend, and the 2 Aucklanders absolutely going for it at the moment. So we've still got 10 Pro Twin components out on the track. It's brilliant stuff. Our actually spent Pro Twin New Zealand Grand Prix up for grabs, and SJ Cavell, the man on the move. There's battles all over the track, and it's hard to know where to look at times, Glenn.
That's right, and this battle between 4th and 5th is compelling, but back to the front we go, and Hooper and Cavell have now kicked nicely clear of Jared Horn. So the gap is about 2 seconds back to Horn. And I don't know about you, Brad, but Cavell looks like he's got something in him, and it looks like he's hunting Hooper down a little bit, and I feel like this could really develop into something special as they cross the line to complete 5 laps. And the gap is 0.8 of a second, and Hooper's just put in his fastest lap of the race so far. Yeah,
what a response. He knew he was coming. He would have got the pit board update, and he's just put the fastest lap of the race in there. So he was now 2/10 quicker than SJ, and it's gone out to 0.8. So, what a response from this young man. He's still got 7 laps to go in this Grand Prix, but doing everything right at the moment, and still to be lapping in the 1:39s this time late on a Sunday with the same tyres they started the weekend on. Full credit to these guys at the moment, absolutely flying. That battle for the lead, we'll keep an eye on that one. Carl Hooper ahead of SJ Cavell. The young gun on the scene, Carl Hooper. He had a spectacular Suzuki International Series where he double classed and got race wins in both different classes, and then coming back in 2nd place there, SJ Cavell. He also did a good job in F3 racing at the Suzuki International Series, getting a couple of podium finishes. So these guys pretty experienced and all giving it all out there at the moment. 6.5 laps to go of the New Zealand Pro Twins Grand Prix, and certainly not decided for yet, Glenn.
No, certainly not. It's Carl Hooper, Cavell, Horn, Butson and Main. There's no change to the top 5 at the moment, and Nick Sutherwood is in 6th place, and then Chris Burt's just been actually dropped 1 spot down into 7th position at the moment. Here's the interest though with Hooper, who is still leading, and that distance over Cavell looks about the same as we're coming towards the end of the 6th lap, so this will be halfway through the race here at the Pro Twins New Zealand Grand Prix title for 2021. Carl Hooper coming across the line right now, solid as a rock. Cavell not far behind him, but that lead is just lengthened just a tad this time, Brad. It's just over a second now, halfway through the race.
Yeah, so he took another 2/10 again that lap time, and still in the 1:39s. SJ out to the 1:40s now, so on about exactly 1 second. And what a response from Carl Hooper. He's answered the question from SJ Cavell. Those two there have snuck off into the distance, though they were 2.5 seconds quicker than Jared Horn that lap. So that gets that gap out to 8.5 seconds. These guys have got back to Jared Horn in 3rd place, who's got 3rd pretty well sewn up. He's got that well under control. Alex Butson and Vaughan Main, they're still less than a second apart on the racetrack. Then Nick Sutherland getting himself into this one here. He's 6th at the moment with Chris Burt, Al Ware, Josh Doblay and Angus Boyd, our top 10 Pro Twin components out there. But this one here, impressive young man, this one here, Glenn. He got that down to 0.6 of a second and then said, right, I'm going to pull the trigger, and we're out of here with this one here. So halfway through the New Zealand Grand Prix, and Carl Hooper seems to have it all his own way at the moment.
He does indeed. However, here's a question for you, Brad. You talk about the tyres. How are you expecting these tyres to behave from now until the end of the race?
Oh yeah, they'll be yelling at them. They will be, yeah, they'll be ready to go. They'll be back wheel will be lighting up. The good thing with these bikes, they don't have a hell of a lot of high-end horsepower, so it'll slowly go off. But yeah, it's one of those points in the championship. It's too early to be throwing away a good opportunity at some championship points. So these guys won't be giving it to all when it's start getting slippery. They'll just be trying to conserve it, get it home, get these championship points. It's the Grand Prix title, but it's a long game here for these guys. They've got 12 races to contend with in the New Zealand Superbike Championships for Pro Twin, and it's all on the line here at the moment. And as we see Carl Hooper, just as we say that, he puts the fastest lap of the race in, so just keeps going and going. A 1:39.46 that time. He was 0.3 quicker than SJ, so gets that out to 1.3 seconds. And these guys, despite all the things we've said, how hot it is, how many tyre degradation it is, these guys just keep lifting the bar. Very impressive ride from those two out in front.
Yeah, Hooper doing a fantastic job. If anything, he's getting better at the moment. Butson and Main is staying that great chill for 4th and 5th. There's no change to their positions at all. Main, he's probably trying his butt off to get Butson, but he's not able to catch him at the moment. Brad?
No, he's not. It is one thing to be as quick as someone else, but to pass them around Ruapuna, it's got to be a really good move. There's something for everyone. It's a beautiful track for motorbikes. It's got lefts and right-handers, nice mid-speed corners, tight corners, high-speed areas as well. It is just the dream to ride. A very busy lap as well. You never feel like you're under control, and it's all coming live here. Pro Twin Racing, but Carl Hooper has well and truly responded now. You can see that gap as they go through the Southern Salvagesses. And it'll be almost at a point where SJ's saying, all right, I'm going to have to do something crazy if I want to reel him in. It's probably better to just conserve the second place. He's got 2 seconds so far this weekend, but we know what SJ's like. He's a racer through and through, and you can never really count him out at this point here. But Carl Hooper slowly running away with this one.
Yeah, he certainly is. That gap is widening as he hits the home straight for the 8th time. And Hooper, good lead here. There is 8 laps done, and Cavell is falling. I reckon he's just under 3 seconds behind now. And again, Hooper puts in another terrific lap. Again, he's beaten his fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, and he was over a second quicker than SJ on that lap around. So SJ drops well into the 140s and a 1:39.0 for Carl Hooper. So there we go with that one. With a 2.8 second lead and 4 laps to go. It's well and truly advantage Carl Hooper at the moment. SJ Cavell still desperately there in second place, but a decent 16-second gap back to Jared Horn. So pretty comfy second place. But yeah, what a performance, Carl Hooper. I can't say enough about it. He got put under a lot of pressure from an experienced man in behind him, and just decided, righto, I'm pulling the trigger and I am gone with this one here. So 4 laps to go. He's well in command. He's got a 2.8 second advantage. SJ Cavell and Jared Horn looking like your podium here in this Pro Twins New Zealand Grand Prix title race 3 of the weekend for these guys, and the start of our New Zealand Grand Prix window.
Yeah, don't forget we've got races coming up this afternoon in the Super Sport 600s, Super Sport 300s and the 150s sidecars, and then the 250 production as well. We've also got an update on the Superbikes for you. We can tell you that half points have been declared in that race. Half points have been declared. So Damon Rees has going to get 12.5 points, Jake Lewis 10 and Mitch Rees 8. And Damon Rees has been declared the New Zealand Grand Prix winner for the 2nd year in a row by the stewards here, and we'll have the podium after the Pro Twins podium, which is coming up at the conclusion of this race. Hooper goes across the line to complete another lap. He's got 3 to go, and Cavell, that gap now is 4.87 seconds. That's really lengthened out. 2 seconds faster that time, Brad, was Hooper.
Yeah, I think SJ's just conservative mode now. He's maybe his tyres have gone off, we're not sure, but yeah, he put the squeeze on. Carl responded, so he's probably just playing the wise game early on in the championship and decided, hey, I'm a bit smarter than this. I'm going to get out of here with 3 trips to the podium and not try and do anything silly. But Carl Hooper, this is going to feel pretty good. 3 of them, he's still got 2.5 odd laps to go, but the way he's riding at the moment, he's just ticking those laps off. Another one in the 1:39s, that lap around just shows you how quality this guy is at the moment. The young man doing wonderful things from Taupo on the CH Automotive and Pirelli Tyres sponsored Suzuki. The borrowed bike, like I said, just hopped on that bike and 3 from 3. Well, he's still got a couple of laps in this one. I don't know if the commentators curse on him, but at the moment, yeah, looking like making every poster winning one. So Carl Hooper, SJ Cavell, Jared Horn, still your podium battle. I still can't tell you who's going to be 4th or 5th in this one, Glenn, as these guys are still near inseparable running through the Fulton Hogan S's at the moment.
That's right. They are within a second of each other, Butson and Main in 5th place. And it's been like that all the way through the race. Terrific battle. You've got to give props to Butson for not buckling to the pressure that Main is trying to apply to him all the way through the race. So Butson doing a great job to hold off his Auckland teammate for that battle for 4th place. But it looks like, barring an absolute disaster, Hooper is going to win this race. Cavell is going to come 2nd and Jared Horn is 3rd, as we just see Hooper complete another lap. That's his 10th. He's got 2 to go. Cavell crosses the finish line right now, and he's 7.5 seconds behind. That gap is huge now, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So again, another lap in the 139s, a 139.187 from Carl. So just so consistent. He's just on Dream Street at the moment. And yeah, another one in the 141s for SJ. So yeah, he's definitely. We're not sure if there's a reason behind it or it's just a conservative play, but he's definitely given up the ghost here. 2 laps to go and a 7.5 second advantage. This is a dominant performance from Carl Hooper, but Jared Horn still there in 3rd place. This is an impressive ride for me. One of the rides of the weekend, I think. First trip ever to Mike Pirro Motorsport Park, and this in line for his 3rd trip in a row to the podium. Alex Butts and Vaughan Main, it's going to be a talking point for those guys. Who's going to get the Team Auckland bragging rights? That's all on at the moment. There's less than half a second when they cross the line. They're raging on down the back straight and into the Euro mark left-hander. So, yep, that's going to come down to the wire. We're going to use all of these last 2 laps remaining to find out our top 5 order. And Nick Southerwood, Chris Burt, Al Ware, Josh Dobley, the only 9 runners still out there at the moment. So that's your update of the Pro Twins New Zealand Grand Prix title as the white flag is getting ready to be waved.
Indeed it is, which means there'll only be 1 lap to go for Carl Hooper, who's got that big lead over Cavell, and Jared Horn, who's holding 3rd place at the moment. But it really has been a Carl Hooper benefit. Wins yesterday and this morning. He's been on absolute fire in this first round of the New Zealand Superbike Championships for 2021. There is the white flag for Carl Hooper. As we look at again the battle for 4th and 5th place at the moment. There's nothing between those two, but Butson, nothing's changed there as he still manages to hold off Main. But well ahead of those 2 riders is Carl Hooper, who's putting on an absolute masterclass in this race.
Yeah, on the you could almost call it a parade lap now. He's got 10.9 second advantage. It's all gone his way in this Grand Prix. Yet another lap in the 139. So I just can't speak enough about that. To come out here in a 12-lap Grand Prix title race and just put it all like that down on the line, so consistent. He's been so accurate on the borrowed bike too. So not having it set up for his liking, that shows some real talent. SJ Cavell, he is in line for another 2nd place. So more and more quality championship points. He won't be just happy with that. He'll be wrapped with that. It's a long series, 12 races, and if you keep yourself in the hunt, anything can happen. We've got Jared Horn as well doing the same thing. Great, consistent performance this weekend, and we're on the last lap here, so white flag into the Southern Salvage S as we go, and absolutely flawless performance so far. He's just got a couple more corners to go, including the Aeon Dipper, a cool iconic part of Mike Pirro Motorsport Park. We only use it for motorbike racing. Cars, it's a bit tight and a bit hard to get them around there, but he has done a great job. Nearly out of the seat as he comes out of there, just getting that body weight tool shifted around. These guys will be absolutely knackered. A 12-lap Grand Prix race on the Pro Twin machinery. They've had the same set of tyres the whole weekend, and to come out here and just tick off 139s lap after lap, this is going to feel pretty good. The checkered flag's waving it out. New Zealand Grand Prix champion for 2021 is going to be Carl Hooper on the Pro Twin number 28. Well done to SJ Cavell. He's getting out of the turn 10 sweeper now as well. From a horror round 1 12 months ago, he's going to take 3 trips to the podium, 3 second placings for the Guling Oils Highway Tyres, CD Vandermeer Builders man. He'll love that. And then Jared Horn, that's pretty good stuff. First ever trip to Mike Pirro Motorsport Park. That's a pretty impressive performance. So the 74 takes 3 trips to the podium. And then we go back to this one here. It's going to stay with Alex Butts, and they were hammer and tongs the entire race, but Alex is going to get it over Vaughan Main. And that's the update for 4th and 5th, as we're going to have our a double podium, so double New Zealand Grand Prix given out down trackside, but that one was a good one, Glenn.
There we are, the confirmed results. Carl Hooper gets 6th last year, but 1st this year. Fantastic effort from him. Coming in 2nd, SJ Cavell, 15 seconds behind. Then Jared Horn finishing in 3rd place, with Alex Butson and Vaughan Main home in 4th and 5th. So Brad, just watching these last riders come in to complete their last laps. Fantastic effort from Carl Hooper, and he's going to be one to watch going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. A young man, speaks very well, well presented, and yeah, very talented young kid. So one to watch out for sure. Young man from Taupo on the Murder Cranes machine. Had a bit of an off on Friday, borrowed the bike, and has won 3 from 3 this weekend. So that's going to feel very, very good Carl Hooper, SJ Cavell, Jared Horn, your New Zealand Grand Prix Pro Twins podium. We've got Neil Ritchie trackside. He'll do our interviews and wrap it up there for our Pro Twin New Zealand Grand Prix. All the races have finished, and now we can give you the update. Carl Hooper, SJ Cavell, Jared Horn, Alex Butts and Vaughan May. Then we go back to Nick Southerwood, gets home in 6th place. Chris Burt in 7th. Al Weir gets 8th, and Josh Doblay. That's a good 9th place finish for him.
So we're just waiting for the riders to come back now for the podium presentations. Carl Hooper will be absolutely delighted with what has been an outstanding weekend for him. And there are the other 2 riders, number 41, Cavell, who finished in 2nd, and Jared Horn, number 74, finishing in 3rd place. They're your top 3 in the Pro Twins New Zealand Grand Prix title race for 2021.
Well, our interesting first couple of bikes today, and our race brought to us by Kip Engine, so great work there. These guys started to come to grips with it. Hey, Jared, pretty easy to find your place back here, not once nor twice, but in fact 3 times. But hey, for your first ever visit to Ruapuna, that's exceptional. How are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm feeling really good, eh? I mean, I tried to hang on to Carl for a bit, and that wasn't happening, and then SJ come past, and I tried to hang on to him, and that wasn't happening, so I just thought I'd sit where I was comfortable and just bring it home. I mean, you can't win a championship if you fall off, so this is the first time here, so just take it easy and do what's comfortable and bring it home. That's what I've come down here to do, have fun and bring it home.
No truth in the rumour from Whangatā you were busy on New Year's Eve back in the beach town?
Oh yeah, mate, I was sinking a few double browns, keeping me going.
There he goes. Hey, cool story. SJ, mate, this young gun, Carl, hey, if it's not going to be Ben or Jordan, it's somebody else to come along. So just when you think you're there, these young guns come along and steal it.
That's all right, mate. That's what the sport's about. We'll just keep working. We'll be back at Timaru next week stronger again. So, no, that's what the sport's about, Neil. It's always going to be fast, guys.
Always going to be fast guys. Hey, but speaking about some fast guys, you got some fast guys behind you and some great sponsors that always make your event.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got even Diamond from Diamond Design helping us out, and we've also got obviously Pewterline Oil and Bridgestone tyres. Hey, it's good to get a Bridgestone head up here to break this Pirelli stuff up on the podium. So, no, it's good. We've got a really good team behind us, so we're really lucky.
Well done indeed. Thanks, SJ. Carl Hooper, personal Carl. Congrats, mate. You come alive in that Suzuki series. Fantastic with the Classics and also the Formula 3. But hey, Pro Twin, something completely different. You're proving you're very adaptable. Is that part of your sort of influence and what you've been practicing?
Yeah, no, riding those 2 different bikes in the Suzuki series has definitely given me that ability to be able to adapt to different bikes and, you know, have a feel for what they're doing. And, you know, I've been able to get on Lee's bike and just, you know, have that feeling. And, you know, that last race was tough, you know, but these Pirelli tyres, they were gripping the whole way. And now just huge thanks to Lee and KRP Racing, because, you know, again, without him, you know, I wouldn't even be racing this weekend. And so to get 3 wins for him and his bike back in one piece, I think that's a huge achievement.
Everybody's asking the questions about the tyre. Because of your rule, you've got to stay on the same tyre. How do you think the tyre is right now? Would it do another race?
Oh, send me back out there. I'll do it again.
So that's what you're talking about, the Pirelli stickability.
Oh, yeah, no, the Pirellis worked beautifully in that last race, you know. We had made a few adjustments to, you know, with the heat and stuff like that, and they just worked a treat. So, no, really, really good to have the Pirellis on.
What about this, the new future of our sport, 18 years of age, never done the class before. Bang, here he is as our 3x3 champion. Great to be here. Part of it with Underground Brown, along with Pirelli, Aon Insurance, and of course Sky Sport Next coming at you. The 2021 New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Champions, Pro Twins. The podium is the same, all 3 races, so that's what they'll be overall. Plus for this, the New Zealand Grand Prix. Let's do the shout out to Jared Horn, SJ Cavell and Carl Cooper. Well, there we go, our 5-minute call made for our next race. More importantly, back to our Superbikes. Heap of drama today with a series of crashes, but the officials getting it all right and back and allocating the points. And deservedly, here you are, Mitch, third place for the Grand Prix. More importantly, though, a lead in the series after round one. What a cool way to finish.
Yeah, it's the first for me, so yeah, pretty stoked. It's pretty wicked to come away. Got the Honda on the podium 3 times this weekend, so you know, kudos to the team and everyone that's helping us out. Thanks to Damo for all his input and obviously, you know, let him off easy and got him to a couple of wins today, so yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Well, indeed. Hey, conditions out there, it's a shame that we have those incidences. Would you put it down to a hot track? How do you feel? Anything that played a part in those crashes, or just the flukes that happen?
No, just racing at incidents, sorry. You know, obviously Al just pushing the envelope. He was going fast under lap records, so you know, as to be expected when we're all at our sort of maximum levels. So he was riding phenomenally. Unfortunately, he went down. Yeah, probably didn't need the red flag for his one. He was getting up and walking away, so a little bit of a hard one. It was, I was really enjoying the race at the time, so yeah, it was a bit of a tough one to sort of walk away from that.
Yeah, bad luck, but good luck. So there we go with Mitch third, but more importantly in the lead for the points. And Jake, as you would politely say, not a bad day at the office.
No, not at all. No, can't complain. The Yamaha New Zealand Blue Crew Superbike team have done a great job. Really happy to be up here twice for the weekend. So can't complain. Just a big thank you to everyone who helps me and my supporters, 360 Logistics. Mega Motorcycle Centre, Race Supplies, Technical Racing. Appreciate everything you guys do, and big congrats to the Reezers and everyone else for awesome weekend's racing.
Right, indeed. Jake, what does this feel like for you from a championship point of view? Everybody wants to win every race, but unfortunately that doesn't happen in our game. It's been well proven this weekend for sure. So you happy with sitting with these points at this position right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly can't complain. If you said I was going to be in this position after the weekend, I certainly would have taken it. So. We've seen how close it can be and what can happen, so but it's a long way to go. We've seen how this championship changes, at any time. So roll on next weekend and we'll see what it brings.
Excellent. Jake Lewis, nice to have you with us. Demon Damo. Cool stuff, matey. Bit of bad luck earlier today. You were here yesterday, you missed this morning, but you've come back this afternoon. Man, that was drama with a capital D in that one. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing one in this morning's race. Obviously, cam sensor failed on the bike and made the bike unrideable. So I made the call, pull in, and we got the bike fixed and got off to a great start in the first restart in that race. And I pulled a bit of a gap on Al, and then he reeled me in pretty quick. And so I put the hammer down. And pretty much I think at the end he must have pushed that a little bit too hard and lost the front. So a little bit of disappointment that they did red flag it. I think that was a bit of a rush, and maybe that's something they should look at in the future. They shouldn't jump on those red flags, especially when the rider's up and okay. But anyway, I'm happy to come away with a race win. It always looks good for things. So it may be half points, but it's still a win. So yeah, just absolutely stoked. Thank the whole team. Mud, Mark, Dad, the Fullers, Mum, everyone who's here. It's just been an awesome weekend, so thank you.
And the bonus, of course, is a New Zealand Grand Prix title for you.
Oh, geez, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's a good day.
It is a good day at the office. Here you go, Team Rees, Mighty Mitch, Demon Damo, joined here by Jake Lewis. What a way to finish the race with that upset, but we've still got our champions. They've carried their points. They'll move on through. We haven't lost out on anything, so great to see. All part of the action with skysportnext, Pirelli, Aon Insurance, and your local sponsor, and Underground Brown. We're boring. We've the infrastructure underground boring team of the entire South Island. Bring it on with Underground Brown. Great to have them on board. 2021 NZSBK, rocking.